I wanted to add something about my mom and my dad. My mom, first off, is uh, master seamstress, and she's been doing it her whole life. That's why I took my backpack up to see if she could reinforce the straps. She said there was no need. She could look at it, saw where the threads were coming undone and the stitching. He said, "Yeah, don't even worry about it until it really becomes a problem. You don't have anything to be concerned about." She could look at it and tell. I understood that myself because she taught me a little bit about it. And that's one of the skills I learned from both my parents. My parents own an upholstery shop, and I worked in it since I was a young man. About 12 years old, I think I started working in the shop. My dad, he's a business owner. He has had multiple businesses. The upholstery shop is the one that has been the mainstay because it just kept going. And I think it's also probably because my mother and him were working together. And there's something about the heart's desire that really makes something follow through. Another reference to these webcam posts is that my heart is my guide. And I keep telling you that it's to capture a moment in time because my relationship with my daughters is estranged. I I want them to be able to have this moment in time whenever they may or may not want to observe it and see their dad. And plus, my oldest daughter's having a baby. And why not say, hey, here's Grandpa at 42? Grandpa at 42. So, my dad and I had a great talk. This last year, within the last year, he has gone through a change. And it has to do with, I would say, the main reason is the economic situation in the country. Because the economic situation in the country is the way it is, it has been the main influence for my father finding a new vehicle of expression. He just made time because he's got time to make. I was telling him this view that I had the other day. I said, the way I'm looking at it is that there are people that earn money and people that make money. The people that earn money are those that are employed. Those that make money are the employers. And not everyone makes money. There are those that have the ability and those that don't, just like the haves and the have-nots. However, it is those that make money's responsibility. It is their responsibility to lend a hand, to serve others. But this is a religious belief, all in all, boiled down to its purest form, or whatever you want to say. And I think that all humanity has this creative impulse to truly create. Anyway, I got to share with him this audio tape of James Joyce's Finnegan's Wake, and I got to share with him how I wouldn't have really had a realization of what this meant if it wasn't for you, Dad, telling us these stories by firelight when we were kids. I realized all of a sudden what kind of narrator's voice was needed in order to read Finnegan's Wake. I had had all this help, I had had all these books, and I was reading page by page and everything, but it all came to me once I heard this performer on this audio tape. Excellent performance. Excellent performance. Anyway, I got to share with him that I wouldn't have had this audio tape if this, just by chance, this friend of a friend happened to say, hey, I've got a whole library on James Joyce. Here's some audio tapes. And that's when I finally decided, all right, now Ulysses. The guy had read so much, and he had his own experience, but, you know, you need some help sometimes. I definitely needed to. Anyway, my mom's made multiple wedding dresses for those in our family. She's making the bridesmaids' dresses for my youngest daughter's wedding. And there's going to be some high school friends there. Full moon tonight. And I got to share with them the astronomical odds of having a son, a mother, and a daughter all born with the same Pisces moon placement at their birth. Something like 1748. I think, if I got the math right, which I don't know, and I could be making a fool of myself, 12 times 12 times 12, you know. It's not the exact degrees in Pisces, but all three of us, my daughter, myself, and my mother, have a Pisces moon. And I awoke this morning with an idea that there's a difference between fate and destiny. And fate is what must happen to us, and destiny is what we make of it. And this is the difference between those who are employed by life and those who are the employers of life. And then I elaborated it even further into fate would be as the womb and a period. And destiny, the morning hard on.